Australia survived a nail-biting penalty shootout with the U.S. to advance to their first final in any FIFA competition. Now can the Socceroos make history with the biggest upset ever? Brazil also needed penalties to escape their foe, Ghana. This is Brazil's third straight final, and they want to finish the tournament as they started. It's Australia versus Brazil next.
Make it look so simple.
Hello and welcome to the FIFA Under-17 World Cup Final. You're watching the Brazilian side, the defending champions, take their national anthem. We're at North Harbour Stadium in Auckland, New Zealand. The final match of this tournament. I'm your host, Alan Hopkins. We have a splendid final for you, a rematch from the opening match for both these teams in the tournament. Brazil and Australia. You see the Brazilian contingency looking for another honor to add to her impressive list of championships won by this country. Take a look at the Australian lineup. In the goal, Kedwell Van Straten played well in the semifinal win, saving a penalty against the USA. Cansdale Sheriff also looked good. Aaron Golding scored a goal for the Australians against the USA. Scott McDonald's another striker to look for. Dylan McAllister, he tallied in the match between these two teams earlier. For Brazil, Marquinhos scored and Carlos Henrique scored for the Brazilians against Australia in their opening match between these two teams. Leo and Walker, the strong captain for the Brazilian side. Adriano and Leonardo with Kaká will be also in the frontline attack. Well, this is a matchup the fifth time that these two teams have met up in this tournament. Brazil has won 4 of the meetings. Australia won the very first meeting back in Montreal, Canada, between these two teams. Brazil has owned it ever since. Philip Sharp from England will be your official. Take a look there. The two captains for these two sides. Walker for Brazil. Mark Burns for Australia, the number 6 player. As they are discussing their options on the road to get here. Australia only lost once, which was to Brazil in a rain-soaked match earlier in Group C play. They beat USA in the penalty kick shootout. Ghana was surpassed by the Brazilians in their own penalty kick shootout. Ghana won 3rd place in the opening match of this final day, beating the USA 2-0. Take a look at the referee there, Kairos Vassarets from Greece. He will be the man dutifully honored with doing the last match of this tournament. It's been a wonderful tournament. The stars of soccer for the future on display. Enjoy the first 45 minutes. I'm Alan Hopkins. I'll be back.
The semi-final or quarterfinals. There's Anderson, and there's no question the Brazilians pulled a very sneaky piece of manoeuvring yesterday, having him on crutches and his foot heavily bandaged, trying to push Australia off the set.
Perhaps it was just safety first, but he certainly looks to be walking freely.
Well, not only the players, but this man, his heart would be beating a little faster. Seconds away from the opening whistle in this World Cup final. A great crowd here in attendance. And the first 45 minutes underway here at North Harbour Oval. Brazil in their alternative blue strip, Australia in the traditional green and gold. It'll be interesting to see how both teams settle their systems. Huge crowd. Over 20,000. And FIFA have opened the hill behind the Brazilian goal, which is a great move from them. Normally not FIFA practice. So the crowds and the tournament has been so well positioned and handled. There's the Australian bench on the far right. Kelly Cross, the assistant coach. And McAllister with an early touch. A lot of colour, the colours of the world on display. And there'll be nerves from both teams. Certainly Brazil and their coach Carlos Cesar had the utmost of respect for Australia after that opening round match in Christchurch. Here's Bruno, the overlapping player. Ball into the box with the outside of the foot, but there's no player at that back post. Number 16, Leonardo, was floating in. And Steve, there's Les Scheinflug, who first played for Australia back in 1958. And he was the first ever World Cup captain of Australia. Scored the first World Cup goal at 65 against South Korea. So there's a lot of history with him.
Well, irrespective of what happens today for him, it's been a marvellous career in Australia. And he'll be wondering if a dream can come true for him. I know he's a very passionate guy about the game. And I'm sure he's looking forward to this one more than any other game he's been involved with. Interesting to note too that Australia have started with their normal formation of 2 centre-backs and a sweeper, 2 wing-backs, 3 in midfield, 2 pushing forward and 1 sitting in a wee bit, and 2 strikers. And Brazil look to be at the moment in a familiar 4-4-2 formation, and that will be very mobile and very fluid.
And that's one thing that Carlos Cesar will be looking at. There he is, second from the left at the helm when Brazil won the championship back in 1997 in Egypt, beating Ghana in the final. Adriano crashes in. Golding, lovely little ball for McDonald down the left. Great skills by the number 11, turns it in. And the footing momentarily lost there by Ricardo. Maybe a caution on McDonald. A stern chat to from the referee.
Yes, and I wonder if the conditions here are going to play some effect. McDonald knocks a ball in with his left foot. Players slipping in the box. That happened in the previous game. And you certainly don't want to fall over in the penalty box, your own penalty box, in the World Cup final.
Medarski, very strong in the air. Amazingly, Brazil were unchanged in their 3 group matches as they earned the free kick through Kaká in Christchurch. Unchanged, and the big difference in the quarter-final and semi-final is their number 16, Leonardo, who scored 4 goals. He's had a great spark up front.
Well, hasn't he looked a good player too?
And it's getting fairly willing out there. It's the second strong challenge from Scott McDonald as Eduardo went down.
See Leonardo just leaning in there, and I don't think McDonald could stop. I don't think there was any real intent in that one. Eduardo was just shielding it. That took a bang in his back for his efforts. As Medarski lets it run through to Van Straten.
And wasn't he a hero of that semi-final, blocking the penalty from DeMarcus Beasley? Such high drama both here in Auckland and in Christchurch. Pantelis. McDonald, 2 goals in the tournament. Got them through with that single goal against Mali.
Yes, I'm sure all these players are going to take home some great memories from previous games, and hopefully the biggest prize of all from this one.
Marquinhos is the big stopper, number 3, very strong in the air. Will be a factor from the set pieces. Anderson, who's the player carrying the injury, but looks to be moving very freely. Lewis Brain tested him out with that challenge. And the Australians will be very keen. Their address from Les Scheinflug yesterday was very emotional, Steve, and just asking them to find that extra 10% required.
Yes, and I'm sure they would give it anyway. And the one thing I would suggest that he was talking about was actually not necessarily lifting the game, because I'm sure they're going to lift it. It was actually just to remain calm. The one thing they couldn't do is actually get excited in this sort of a game, because if you do, mistakes can happen and you regret them for the rest of your life.
Medarski forced to hurry with a clearance. Kaká is at midfield. He's a very creative player. Here's Eduardo. Attempted 1-2 play there, but Medarski is so determined, and he reads the play so well. Bruno flew in with the boot. And the touchline is Ricky Herbert. Ricky, what's the conditions like?
Well, guys, it's the wind has just returned slightly. We've had it blowing from our left to right, and the rain, which returned half an hour ago, has nicely left, and we're down to a little bit of drizzle. The pitch is in wonderful condition. The moisture, though, has left it a little bit slippery on top, and the guys in the early stages just finding it a little bit difficult to maintain their footing.
Lovely ball in behind the defence. Here's Leonardo. One defender to get around, and that's Golding. Ball to the near post, well covered by Medarski. And Australia look to be keeping their shape at the back.
Well, they're doing both sides at the moment, are not wanting to give anything away and just feeling each other out. Australia started brightly, so have Brazil. Brazil probably with the more purpose. As Pantelis knocks it down the line and actually wins a free kick.
Carlos Cesar. He's a pretty hard taskmaster. And if I understood Portuguese, I would have got a better feeling about his last address to the players in their final training session, but judging by the players' reaction, it was also very emotional. And that's what a coach would be doing, appealing to these young players to really rise and sense the occasion.
Well, it's a real unbelievable day for these guys, and they would certainly not want to make any mistakes, and it's really up to Les to actually get them in the right frame of mind. Sometimes you've got to lift players and pick them up. Sometimes you've got to bring them down, calm it down, and I think today they'd be absolutely pumped for this one. And I'd suggest that the comments were just keep it calm, don't get too excited, and keep playing the way you have in the past, and chances will come.
Leonardo has lost his footing there. What Ricky mentioned earlier, certainly coming true. Shifty surface on the top. There's been a bit of rain today, but North Harbour Stadium has certainly soaked up the rain over the past couple of weeks.
Their show and flag guys is really encouraging his players in this early stages to push forward. He wants the back three to make sure they're pushing in, and the front runners to stop the Brazilians from playing out from the back.
Pressure in the Brazilian half.
And that's one thing that they would want to do, is actually get the ball out at the back, because they've got players that can play, and they'll love to get it on the deck and build the moves going forward. And Australia will want to counter that and get a tackle in first. As Pantelis races away on the left-hand side and plays the ball to McDonald.
McDonald doing some good work down that left-hand flank. Scott McDonald took a deflection. Here's Lewis Brain. Lovely ball by McAllister square. North to the back post. Ravunio comes out strongly. And a very clean take by the custodian from Brazil. And a good confidence builder early.
Yes, it was. It's a great take. Great cross in. Rubino came out a long way. Well up. Nobody was going to get that but him. And the crowd down below us went absolutely crazy.
Well, at any level, it's such a great honour to represent Brazil. 160 million people, and over 80% follow the code, the world game. And here's a portion of the fanatical sport, North Harbour Stadium. Good work by Adriano. Big striker gets away from Burns. Back post ball. Leonardo has to rush across. He's got 4 goals in the tournament. Did not start the first 3 matches and chimed in with a hat-trick against Paraguay in the quarterfinals in Dunedin. And his shot took a deflection in the semi-finals, but he was credited with the goal. So that's 4 for the tournament.
Both these teams progressing from the group of death in Group C in Christchurch, and it's quite evident that they were both good sides. As were Mali and Germany, got knocked out of that group. Still tentative, not wanting to give the ball away.
Anderson Lovely ball to Leonardo down the left. His marker slipped in Mark Burns. Square, Walker leaves it for Leo. Lovely skills, dances and shoots from long range. Knocked out by Van Stratton, who momentarily lost sight of the ball as it bubbled up. And a superb piece of work by the number 7.
What a great bit of skill. He skipped past Pantelis like he wasn't there. Struck it well. Van Stratton fumbled, but he collected it the second attempt. And Leo is certainly one of the stars of this team. There he is, and I have a feeling we've got a star in the making there. Such a wonderful and gifted player, loads of skill, and prepared to take people on.
Lewis Brain getting forward. North. Perhaps played the early ball in. Leo closed him down quickly. Brazil looking very comfortable on the ball. Nice switch of play down the right, Eduardo.
And I think we can expect Brazil to be comfortable on the ball, but provided it's sort of in that area where they are now, that won't trouble the Australian defence. They'll be quite happy to keep them out there.
Wayne Schroe, who's very much the holding midfielder, the distributor, plays that defensive role so well. McAllister, 1-2 with Schroe. Turns his marker inside out and then delivers a delightful ball to Cansdell Sheriff, who just runs out of room. And that's the one thing he was talking about doing more often, is getting forward, Steve.
Yes, and he's done well in that position in the early games. Young player from Leeds United, got a good left foot, and you can expect him to go charging down that left line when the opportunity occurs. At the moment, just one or two players just do look a little tentative. I've watched Pantelis a couple of times, and he's taken the easy option out. I would think he's one of the players that have got to be the playmakers for him. He's got to be the one that's got that wee bit of craft, a wee bit of skill. We know he's got it, but sometimes these big occasions, players get stage fright. And, you know, somebody's got to put the hand up and say, today I'm going to make this my stage.
And what a stage. A packed house, North Harbour Stadium. Long floating ball into the box. McAllister up. And a good challenge on Robinho. It may provide a caution for the number 17. Replay will be very interesting.
Well, if he does, it's not necessary, because McAllister had every right to go for that. There's Cansdell Sheriff in with the ball to the back post. McAllister's a big boy. The ball's played up there for him to go for. He goes for a challenge, not even looking at the goalkeeper. I thought it was a fair challenge. Rabino did well. He collected the ball. But maybe he's just letting the referee know that keep your eye on this guy, McAllister. But I don't think there was too much in that one.
Well, Australia perhaps have the edge over Brazil in the air, with Mark Burns, McAllister, Nadavsky at the back.
Well, Mark Burns has been an absolute tower of strength for Australia. He's been a real solid performer. He scored, and he keeps cajoling his young team on, and probably one set for a good future in the game too.
Bruno, nice ball down the line for Kaká, who's closed down well by Cansdell Sheriff. Clean tackle. Brazil throw in the forward third. Eduardo, square for Leo. Tries to play it through for Leonardo. Here's Leo still going. Surrounded by three defenders, and flying shot in the end by Eduardo.
Crowd absolutely loving that footwork from Leo. Wonderful skills, quick feet. Watch this. Two or three of you, I'll drag it that way and this way. How about one over the top? Turns out, and actually Schroe got a foot in, and Eduardo knocked it over the top. Lovely skill.
Delight of youthful exuberance.
Indeed, isn't it great? And it's actually wonderful to see all these teams, the way they celebrate the goals. They absolutely love it. Sometimes it's not well thought of by the establishment, but hey, these kids love it.
Jade North, long throw into the area. Good flick back by McAllister. Equally Lovely, well done by Walker, the Brazilian captain. Here's Cansdale Sheriff. Moves the ball up. Leonardo looks for his front runner. Adriano, as Van Straten had to get off his line and outside the 18-yard box. And here's a chance for Brazil. Leonardo with a shot. Side netting.
Oh boy, talk about nerves. Les Schaamflug off the bench. He knows what it's like. Leonardo going racing in here. Knocks it well wide, but I actually thought Van Straten in the first clearance could have actually stayed in his box and collected it, but nerves played a part. He came out of his box, had to clear it, and knocked it straight to a Brazilian player.
Well, today we'll test everything. The resolve, the judgment, the character. These players would never have experienced the pressure they're under at the moment. Here's Lewis Brain. Lovely square ball. Pantelis. He's got another overlapping player. It's Cansdale Sheriff. But too much weight in that pass from Lucas Pantelis.
Yeah, so Lucas is a tidy player. Got some lovely skills, but just at this stage, just looks a little nervous. No wonder. He's playing against the biggest and best footballing nation in the world.
4 senior World Cups for Brazil. The most recent, USA 1994. And they have been such a powerhouse in world football. And they have fans all over the world too.
Yes, I think everybody's expected to be able to play on the Brazilian side. They've all got skill. They're very mobile, very athletic.
I thought Carlos Azer's quote yesterday, Steve, was quite prophetic. As Brain gets free down the right, we'll continue that in a moment. Lewis Brain from Adelaide Force. Cuts to the byline. Doesn't earn that corner, and he's searching for it. But Carlos Azer, the Brazilian coach, said finishing second in Brazil was like finishing last.
Yes, exactly, and no doubt the pressure's on his young players too. McAllister looks to nick that one on. Burns wins it. Schroe.
McAllister, the overlapping player is North. Encouraging move this for Australia. Good ball in, Marquinhos. Defensive header, but McAllister's still going. His first touch just got away from him.
Well, that's a confidence builder for them. Again, the calls are going in from the side. Get your head up, keep it going, it's good for us. That'll be coming in from Australia. And it was a nice little move down the right-hand side.
Great shot that Hill behind the Brazilian goal, the Australian goal, in fact.
Yes, it's absolutely marvellous that FIFA have allowed that end to be opened. It's sort of part of Kiwi sporting culture to spend time on the bank with your family. And no doubt they're enjoying it. And for those that don't know, the Joeys are the Australian team. That's their nickname. And how they've done Australia proud.
Here's Leonardo. Takes it on the chest. Will flick back to the corner of the area. Kaká now makes the run. Cansdale Sheriff covers him. And that is a goal kick to Australia. Carlos Azer is at the edge of the area where he can operate in.
Well, other than Leo's little bit of skill on the edge of the box and the shot that resulted from that, there's not been a fantastic amount yet from Brazil, and I think Australia have probably been a little more dangerous in and around that penalty box. And they're growing in confidence.
Free kick to Australia as McAllister has a series clear at Eduardo following this challenge.
And also I like the shape at the stage of the Australian centre-backs and sweeper. Adarski's given him a little more depth this time. In the last game he didn't, but in this one he is. And the shape looks much better. Up goes Burns, up goes Goulding.
Pantelis have been very good from the set piece, Australia. Put a lot of emphasis on training, mixing up the moves. Curls into the face of the area. The attempted layoff there was for McAllister. Cansdale Sheriff. And they're looking a lot more comfortable on the ball. Flag would be up now. And Jade North down the right.
Oh boy.
That was the offside trap.
I tell you, that one was close. I think North may have actually been onside when that ball, no, maybe he wasn't. But let's see it right along the line. I'm just wondering if Ricky Herbert down there got a closer view on that one.
Yeah, well, Lee Scheinfeld, Steve, he's really encouraging both the Max, McDonald and McAllister to work the flanks. They're looking for balls to be played in behind the Brazilian back three and work that space. He's not happy with the energy level of the two front runners. He feels at this stage they're not really putting pressure on the back three.
Adriano, deep ball in. Leonardo has to track back. And Ricky, how are you seeing the battle of the central midfield area?
Well, Leo's obviously the key figure for the Australians to close down, but he's getting plenty of attention. He had one opportunity, as we all saw, to develop something, but very tight in there. Not a lot of ball coming out of there, but the Australians obviously looking to play long. The Brazilians still looking to play their cultured football game.
And they're not being allowed to really settle on the ball. Australia certainly has stepped up the pressure. Brain. Attempted switch to the middle, searching for Pantelis. Bruno has provided good width and speed at the back to start the opening three group matches.
Well, Pantelis did a great job there for Australia. So did McDonald down this side. He actually held off his defender and played it back in as the ball went out the other side. Pantelis chased that player all the way and managed to force the player back into the Brazilian half a good 30 yards.
Pantelis. Good work there by McAllister. Shro. Lovely touch. Lewis Brain almost found Jade North, who was wrestling free down that right-hand flank. The late lunge from that man, Adriano. Short circuit of the move. And this is a fascinating contest when you look at it. Brazil started the match a little sharper, but Australia certainly have had their moments in the last 10 minutes, and that was waved on by the referee.
So I'd just like to have seen Burns play that ball a little earlier to Medarski, because he sort of ran 10 or 15 yards and played him in a rather tight area and put him in a wee bit of trouble. And that's actually a sign of growing confidence and prepared to spend more time on the ball.
Marquinhos, who plays for Corinthians in Brazil, is Les Scheinfeld. Bruno asked to retreat by the referee. Take the throw in the correct position. Well, Australia and Brazil have some attacking options on the bench, but certainly we've learnt through experience, extra time periods and penalty shootouts. They won't play their cards too early.
Sure they won't, but there was McAllister just responding to the calls from Les Scheinfeld. He did work hard, managed to get a foot in, and the Brazilian player knocked it over the line for a corner, and this could be danger.
McDonald, good dipping ball in. Golding! Great header by Marquinhos. Sent Golding crashing to the turf.
Brave effort. Absolutely, he saw nothing but a ball that was probably 3 foot across. He threw everything forward into it. It's an in-swinging corner. Goulding goes up, clashes heads with Marquinhos, I think. And but what a brave attempt from both players. Nice little corner knocked across. Great clearance, top clearance from Marquinhos.
Aaron Goulding, who scored that dramatic second-minute goal in the semi-final, just catching a knock to the side of his head. But Ricky, you'd agree that was just a commitment and eyes for the ball there.
Wonderful commitment there by Goulding. Good ball delivered into the box, and that's what he's there for, trying to get his head on the ball. But just at the other end, guys, Carlos Cesar Ramos, the Brazilian coach, has been a little bit more active off the bench. He's not happy. His back three aren't linking up properly with the midfield, and he's looking for Leo, Eduardo, and certainly Walker to start picking up ball and getting the attack going a little bit better.
Here's the number 7, Leo.
That's understandable, because you can be as tidy as you like and have all the skills in the world, but if you haven't got the ball, you can't play. And it's all about being effective this game.
It's Carlos Cesar in the middle. Madison drawing the foul. Leo has waited for the run to come from Walker. Knotted down by Schroe. Another player losing his footing. And that flank was Golding. He gave away the free kick. And that may be a booking here.
The referee pulling both Eduardo and McDonald together and saying, we'll have less of that, let's get on with it. As Goulding makes his way back into the middle of the defence for Australia.
I know the players, after that address from Liz Scheinfeld, really topped up their mental preparation. They really felt they were the equal of Brazil in that opening round in Christchurch. I think the coaches made them believe they can lift a World Cup trophy. It's the first time Australia has ever contested a World Cup final.
Yes, and it's the little Aussie battlers against the world's elite junior players in Brazil. And at the moment, the little Aussie battlers are more than holding their own.
Leo. Searching ball in the middle there for Adriano, but Modarski positions himself so well as the last defender. Pantelis has got some nice touches and skill in that midfield area. Cansdell Sheriff. McDonald gives away the foul. And when you consider this final, the population of Brazil and Australia, the same point is prevalent for New Zealand. Such a small population in football terms, and they're competing against the world's best.
Indeed, and isn't it marvellous for Oceania that Australia have got there? Because not only have they got to play through their own region, they had to go and play home and away against Bahrain to make it to the finals. They beat them, and here they are in the final.
They're at odds at 100 to 1 before the tournament to lift the World Cup, and now just Brazil remains as the obstacle. Here's Kaká. Loves shooting from range and unwinds, and that flashes past the back post. The number 10 had Van Stratton stretching way to his right, and he is explosive.
Nice skill as Kokot ducks past Pantelis. Right foot shot, wide of the post. No real problems there for Van Stratton, but a lovely bit of skill. And certainly had the crowd on their feet. This Brazilian crowd just absolutely loved it.
McDonald tries to play Pantelis through. Nearly squeezed through the gap. Walker saved the day there for Brazil. So the feeling out period has ended, and both teams now will be looking to get into a rhythm. Brazil not quite there.
Well, they're not, and you'd have to say that's good for Australia.
Here's Kaká through the middle. Long searching ball by Cansdell Sheriff. Onside is McAllister. No support in the middle. He takes on Ricardo. Tries to get to the byline.
Well, he did the right thing, didn't he? He actually got a ball played wide. He took a bounce on this sort of greasy surface, I suppose. Pulled it down, looked up, nobody in the box, and he knew it was on him, and he actually had a go at Ricardo and managed to win Australia a corner.
A half an hour has surpassed in this final, and it's Australia 0, Brazil 0. The fans here at North Harbour Stadium are certainly on the edge of their seats. The World Cup up for grabs, and a corner here for Australia. Pantelis curls it, back post. Robinho did well. No risk involved there with the fist out. Bruno, Anderson on the break. They have players forward. Switch of play was good. Kaká. Anderson has Leo out wide. In that direction it goes. There's the Brazilian number 7. Good sliding tackle there by Cansdell Sheriff. Still it's Leo, surrounded by 2 defenders.
Yeah, that's one thing that Australia's got to be careful of, with those speedy breaks. And Kaká broke. Leo went with him. And here they are now, the Australian front third. Eduardo.
Here's a chance for Brazil. Adriano.
Oh boy, you just can't switch off at all.
Leonardo goes to ground, but no whistle on play.
It almost looked like the whole of the Australian defence was ball watching, looking square. They're all square. And Adriano, if he had a better touch, he was in. But the Australian defence had just switched off there.
Leonardo, Kaká. Nice step, but in the end just lost the footing. McDonald. Congested midfield area. Hint of handball there by Vatelis. Emerging Eduardo. Good clean tackle there by McAllister. Pushed and fouled. And that should be a caution on Eduardo, professional foul.
McAllister's really enjoyed himself out there. He's trying to get the ball down. He's certainly as big and strong as these Brazilian players. And at the moment, he's really enjoying his game. Not sure that the referee needed any encouragement from McAllister there to pull his card out. I think it was always on the referee's mind.
First caution of the match. Cansdale Sheriff. McAllister wins the ball in the air, but just blasts away from the 18-yard box. And Ravino comes out. The brother of Z. Elias, who's senior Brazilian player. There's the foul.
It's McAllister going down. And that earned a booking.
Walker plays his club football with Ajax, the only Brazilian in Europe from this team. Good strong challenge by Schroe.
And that's what he's there for. He's the safety player in midfield, the one that sits in for them a wee bit. He's expected to win the ball. He's expected to shift it around and switch play. He does that well. Here he is again. He had his head up. He's looking. How's this?
Beautiful.
How's that for confidence?
Great one-touch play by Australia. They stream down the right. Lewis Brain tries the shot, took a deflection off Marquinhos. And it could have gone anywhere. In the end, it went straight to Robinho.
Indeed, and that's what Brain thought. He chanced his arm, got in the shooting position. He made a great little run and said, I'm going to have a go here. Took a deflection, and the keeper saved well. But Brain is having a tidy game as well. Working very hard in midfield, trying to shut Brazil down because they know that they've got the danger players in there. Eduardo, Walker, Leo, wonderful players. But at the moment, as Australia pressing Brazil back, they're happy with this. We're getting calls from the sideline from Scheinfeld saying push up, push up.
Well, it's been played in Brazil's half, and that's the reason why Carlos Azeir is off the bench. Certainly not what he was expecting and prepared for. Bruno gets himself free on the right. But again, Mark Burns well positioned in the middle.
Well, I'm sure they want he wants more zip from his players. It's sort of like maybe half a yard off the pace at the moment, and half a yard off the pace for Brazil means they're only mere mortals. And that's when these Aussie boys are getting a foot in, winning the ball, and enjoying a good share of the ball.
How's your Portuguese, Ricky?
Well, not the flashes at this stage, but just little news, guys, on the sideline. Lee Scheinfeld again has been asking his front runners, McDonald and McAllister, for a lot more effort, and he's gone to the bench for Diorio. He's got his tracksuit off, and he's got him warming up.
The reason I said that is because Carlos Azeir is very animated on the touchline, the Brazilian coach.
Well, the one who has to be the most worried at the moment is Cesar, because his players are they're not in the pace of the game just yet. Australia will be more than happy with this. I'm surprised that the Orioles were warming up this early, because I would have thought that Les Shamford would have been happy with the way his team's going, because they really only need one chance. And here goes Adriano down the left-hand side. Burns gets back, and Brent gets a foot in. They're away by North. It's almost a two-footed tackle.
A free kick here for Brazil. Leonardo. Leo just lost the footing when he tried to step off Schro. Pantelis just closed down quickly. Kaká and Walker surrounding him. The ball lifted into the 18-yard box. There's Adriano. His front-running partners in the middle. Leonardo, but was forced deep into the corner. Was that a foul? No, said the referee.
Nice bit of skill, though. Pulled it back between his legs and flicked it out the back. And was probably looking for a free kick. And the referee said, not on this occasion. Here he goes, turning. Pulls it back behind, flicks it through Goulding's legs. The referee said, no free kick.
Well, they're certainly playing for the whistle, Brazil. It's a couple of times they've been waved on by Kyros Vasaris, the Greek referee.
Yes, they are, and it's interesting. The crowd seem to be turning. The Brazil supporters are quiet. They're sat down. They're saying nothing. The coach is up. He's not happy. And the crowd here at Albany Stadium seem to be turning and supporting Australia at the moment.
Here's Leo, the playmaker. Lovely switch of play to Walker. Slow motion build-up. Kaká was attempted to be played through. Now fouls number 5, Medaski, and there's Jürgen Klinsmann and Franz Beckenbauer. Two of the greats of the game here for the German 2006 World Cup bid. There's Sir Bobby Charlton as well. Pleasure of speaking to all three gentlemen yesterday, and certainly very competitive off the park as well as on. They want their respective countries to earn the right to host that 2006 World Cup.
Well, Bobby Charlton very kindly took part in a live video link-up from the UK to here in New Zealand as part of a celebration of soccer dinner held by the Centre Circle in Christchurch. And he had the crowd absolutely spellbound, hanging on to every word that he said. They loved it.
It's Charlie Dempsey, and that's the man they're chasing for the vote. One of the FIFA delegates who will decide the fate of the host nation for 2006.
Well, the last call that I heard was, it was on the news, of course, that Charles would like both England and Germany to put a joint bid in, and I can't imagine that being the case.
Sliced out. And there is Anderson, who was in big danger of missing this match. Les Shamford must sense that Australia can break through. They certainly have Brazil worked out tactically at the moment.
So long as they keep things tight, don't make mistakes, they're in with a shout.
As we know that Brazil can spark into action very, very quickly. So 5 minutes of regular time remaining in the first half of this World Championship final.
And who'd be a coach? Both of them have been off the bench, shouting instructions, sometimes cajoling, sometimes chastising. Probably wanted to kick the ball themselves.
Anderson closed down by Lewis Brain, and I'm sure as Les Shamford is using every inch of that area. I'm sure even senior World Championships, FIFA would love the drama to be repeated in Japan and South Korea for 2002, and that's a free kick to Brazil in a very dangerous area.
Well, Adriano went down very easy there. Wonderful crowd. Have a look at this. You've not seen anything like it in New Zealand for probably 20 years. This tournament has done wonderful things for the game here. The New Zealand sporting public love wonderful entertainment and international events, and this one's been magnificent.
Eduardo will take the free kick. Square he goes. Walker. Kakar. Golding closes him down well. The tackle, very strong work, and at the back of Scott McDonald. Fortuitous this for Brazil. Adriano turns. Into the area he goes. Flipped back by Vantelis. So now pressure at the back for Australia, but it's relieved here. Jade North. Lack of understanding there by the Brazilians. We talk about that rhythm. And it's not quite there for the South Americans, the reigning under-17 world champions.
Crowd keeping that Mexican wave going. They're thoroughly enjoying the day. Not long left in this half. And it's still locked up 0-0.
Schroe wins the ball in the air. McAllister has been influential all tournament. He's played his part, Dylan McAllister. Eduardo wasn't fouled, but a touch with the hand. Wins the free kick in the end, a late whistle. Well, it's very much a holding pattern here, Ricky Herbert.
Yeah, very much so. We're going to the back end now, just 2 or 3 minutes to go. Les wants the side just to be a little bit patient now. He's well happy. He's getting a smile on his face. He's happy with his front runners' work, and just encouraging them to keep on pushing forward, keep the pressure on. They've got Brazil. They're having to change their pattern of play, and that's what he's looking for.
Minutes earlier, the goalkeeper Robinho was fully stretched as McDonald bared down. He's had a fairly tough time in the first half. A knock from McAllister.
Well, if they go in like this at half-time, Les Scheifler's going to say, well done, great, it's looking good for us. The longer it goes, the better it is. And I'd imagine the Brazilian players are going to get the biggest rev up they've had. And they do need it, I think.
Walker now playing that right-handed flanking role. Lovely back heel by Kakar for his captain. Here's a chance for Brazil. Walker surrounded by 2 defenders. Was he taken down in the area? Another player goes down, waved on by the referee. It was Bruno. Australia had to be clean in these challenges.
Well, there was panic back there then as Walker went forward. And still not finished.
Good work here by McDonald. It's a body there with Kakar. And that was a foul by McDonald. Studs her up. And I think you'll find there'll be a booking here for the Australian number 11. It was a rash challenge. He's had Needle with him all day, Scott McDonald. A couple of times he's gone in late. And it's not the time to do it.
Well, he looks a little firework. He's a strong guy. And that was certainly late and high. And he deserved a booking there. Part of the FIFA message is fair play. You probably see it on the signs around the ground. And in general terms, this tournament's been played in a great spirit.
Well, considering Brazil, and there's a big portion of the crowd, they were very animated. The opening whistle, not so much so now, as Kakar is taken from the pitch. And after 45 minutes, it's Australia 0, Brazil 0. Free kick to Leo. Second bite at this one, but Lewis Brain just rushes in. Leo steps around 2 players, still going. Adriano to the near post, and a chance here for Leonardo. But Wayne Schroe with the clearance.
What a great run from Leo. He went by 4 players, played it wide. The ball was played back into the danger area and cleared. And Australia still haven't really cleared the lines yet. Brazil are sort of dominating these past 2 or 3 minutes. They're getting a lot of ball. Here's Walker. Not prepared to give it away, doesn't want to chance it, doesn't want to risk it. Leo.
It's really slow
Walker.
motion stuff in the middle of the park for Brazil. As a tight foul. No, said the referee. Advantage was played. Leonardo went down. The Greek referee is certainly really keeping the play quite open. Kaká back on the pitch for Brazil. Eduardo, perhaps their last chance, and that was a clear free kick. Quickly taken. Has to be retaken. So seconds away from the half-time whistle. Leo chips for Kaká. Here's Anderson joining in. Cannons off Wayne Schroe.
Well, Australia's under a bit of pressure here. And Brazil have sort of been camped down here for the last 5 minutes. It's very important from Australia's point of view now that they go in without conceding a goal.
Timely free kick at the back for the Joeys. Captain Mark Burns.
Goal going out from the bench, take your time, push up. Burns takes his time, Australia push up, and he knocks it long, hoping to clear his lines. Won by Leo. The pressure's still not over.
Golding unsighted momentarily, just opened the door there for Leonardo. And Golding very strong in that challenge. Cansdale Sheriff. Searching ball out of the danger zone. Marquinhos just happy to see the ball roll out for a Brazilian goal kick. They've done a pretty good job. Queiroz Vasaris. An intensive looking Brazilian bench. Pantelis with the flick. Fortuitously found Wayne Schroe. Lobs the ball for Cansdale Sheriff. Takes on the number 2 for Brazil, Bruno. And that is half-time. No, free kick. The bench of Brazil thought the second whistle was imminent.
Well, I think Brazil can certainly expect that at every bump ball there's going to be an Australian tackling or challenging. And it's in the nature of the people. They won't give up. Battle right to the end.
Certainly Brazil have been frustrated by Australia's go-slow tactics, the close checking, good shape at the back.
Well, I think everybody's anticipated Brazil being the top side here, and Australia have had a great hold.
They certainly have, after Brazil started very, very smartly in this final. A wink from the referee. And it's the end of 45 minutes. It's been a fascinating opening half to this final. And half-time here at North Harbour Stadium. Australia 0, Brazil 0.
And there you have it after the first 45 minutes, 0-0. Australia, Brazil, 45 minutes left. We'll be back with all the halftime happenings after we pay some bills.
Could be in for a very good second half.
Second 45 minutes underway. It's going to be the most important 45 minutes of these young men's life. Lucas Pantelis has forced his way into the starting lineup for Australia. Captain Walker. Leo has some space. Closed down there by Lewis Brain. Here's Eduardo joining in. Anderson two front runners have been well covered, Adriano and Leonardo. A lot of credit must go to Burns, Golding and Medarski at the back.
Well, you won't get any change out of those boys. They're very strong, very tough, and so far have been more than adequate, more than a match for the Brazil boys up front. It's a game that no one will want to make a mistake, because it's likely you'll remember it for the rest of your life, maybe costly.
The sixth time Australia has been past the quarterfinals. First time into a final at any level. And that's the name of the game, Steve. A goal. And that has not happened in the match so far. Medarski. Foul there on Mark Burns, the Australian captain. A section of the Brazilian flair and colour.
Marquinhos, sweeper, Brazil. Switching play. Brazil come down this right-hand side.
Bruno with a searching run, lovely ball off to Kaká. Lost his footing there. Here's Leonardo. His first touch just got away from him. It's cleared in desperation by Lucas Pantelis. Very sharp on the turn, the number 16. And this match has certainly been played at close quarters. Australia have been very disciplined in the tackle. Played the touchline, they played the percentages. And Ricky, can they maintain the pressure in midfield, Australia? Because that really is the key, isn't it?
Well, that's what I think Lee Scheinfeld will be looking for, guys. The wind has returned slightly. The rain has come back. We've got a little bit of drizzle here, and the Australians have come out. They've started strongly again in the second half, but the midfield is the key factor for them. Leo, Eduardo, and certainly Walker, the captain for Brazil, certainly need lots of attention in the early stages of this match.
The Joeys have really maintained the pressure so far. The rain is beginning to tumble down.
And there's just a wee bit of argy-bargy in the middle there between Leo and Schroep off the ball. Both were pushing a bit. The first challenge went in, and Leo threw an elbow at Schroep. Hence the free kick for Australia.
Medarski, central ball, is now wide for Jade North. Early ball in. Well dealt with by the Brazilian defence. This is where concentration, seeing a number of players beginning to slip, service becoming increasingly sodden. This what is now fairly steady rain will make conditions a little bit more difficult.
Well, it does, and if you're at the back, it's dangerous, and they must be very careful now, because we've seen, not only in this game, but in the early game, players slipping.
Here's Anderson. The deflection off Leonardo. And I'm not sure if this will be a factor, Ricky, but the surface at Christchurch at QE2, where Australia has played, you see the replay and the shot there by Anderson, a little bit firmer, and I think North Harbour, this stadium, a little softer underfoot.
Well, this rain is certainly making it slippery for all the players out there, David, but the Australians still looking to play a pressing game. My only concern is if they can keep up this pressure for 90 minutes, the front runners again, and McAllister and McDonald, still have to work hard. Lee Scheinfeld may have to go to the bench in the last 10 to 15 minutes to maintain that pressure, but I don't see a lot in this. One goal may be the difference.
He's got some shock value on the bench too. There's Scheinfeld, Joe Diorio. Scored that wonderful volley against Qatar in the quarterfinals. Bruno down the right, inviting Kaká in. Too much weight on the pass. The 50-minute mark, it's Australia 0, Brazil 0. In this World Championship final. And there's the umbrellas up. Fairly steady rain now falling. Nothing like the semi-final between Brazil and Ghana Wednesday night. pleasing to see that the rain did not dampen the fans' enthusiasm. Really, Auckland and New Zealand have embraced these young men.
Yes, it's been a great turnout by the crowd. And popped out at half-time. And there was a wonderful carnival atmosphere just outside. Hacky sacks were going, people playing keepy up a skilled games. And thoroughly enjoying the atmosphere.
Donald had a free shot at the near post. Ever so close, he knew the opportunity was there.
Well, he's only a wee fella and it wouldn't come down fast enough. Pantelis gets the nick on. And Eduardo was looking to put a foot up too. McDonald, he just wouldn't come down fast enough for him. And he knocked it wide.
Goalkeepers will be tested as the rain falls. Always very dicey. The men protecting goal. See shots from long range fired in. And the complexion of the game should change. There's Carlos Cesare, second from the left. Foul picked out. An elbow, said the referee. A free kick to Australia. McAllister's been very strong in those aerial challenges.
Yes, he has, and I think Burns will look to go forward here. Goulding as well, probably. That's the height of the Australian team. They're looking to swing the ball into the back post. Up goes McAllister.
Pantelis now on the ball again. Surrounded by blue shirts, and Eduardo joins in well. Switch on in the middle. Here's a chance for Brazil. But Adriano's first touch was clumsy. Just took it away from himself and in the path of the defender. As Les Schoenfeld, he wouldn't be feeling the rain. Adriano has been a little bit bluffed at the back by Australia. Leonardo has looked a much more dangerous striker.
Interestingly, Medarski's had very little to do in this game, and that's probably because his two central defenders have snuffed out nearly everything that Brazil have produced, and in goes Burns again, clears up again, and they would be very comfortable at the moment outside.
Leo needs to get involved more. Eduardo. Walker switches on down the right. They go more central. Here's Leonardo. Again, the sliding challenge well timed there by Burns. And Australia's so confident at the back. They combine in numbers. Cansdale Sheriff searching ball in. Here's McAllister. Another yard would have been interesting.
It was not a bad ball from Cansdale Sheriff. Just picked up a bit of pace as it hit the deck. And Rubino comfortably dealt with it. Goulding challenging, forcing Leonardo square, not allowing him to turn.
Leo, diagonal ball to the corner of the area. And there's a young fan, perhaps a future Brazilian star.
Here's Cansdale Sheriff knocking that ball long. Which just picks up a wee bit of pace. Rubino collects nice and easy.
Joe Diorio, so the move is there. A striker for a midfielder. I think you'll find that you wouldn't expect Joe Diorio to go into midfield. McAllister will drop back into that role, so it's a definite second half shape for Australia, Steve.
It is, and they've done this before in other games. Brought Diorio on. It's a tidy footballer, a lot of skill in the tight area. And on a surface like this, it might just pay dividends for them.
Here's McDonald. Free down the left. Takes on Marquinhos, gets to the byline. Beautiful cutback. Brain at the far post. Jade North will rebuild for Australia. Anderson's a very good defender. North turns it to the near post, but no Australian shirt there. And how do you see this move, Ricky Herbert?
Well, Diorio's been brought on. He's a proven goal scorer, guys. McAllister, I feel, he's been put back into the middle of midfield. He's a little bit stronger, a little bit taller. He's to sit in there to deal with Leo or Eduardo.
A lot different shape for Australia now in this midfield area. McAllister will run out the 90 minutes Joe Diorio, can he extract some brilliance?
Well, I'm sure he can, and the shapes of the side I don't think will change a great deal. McAllister, as Ricky said, will just drop back in and play the role that Pantelis has been playing for the first half. But Diorio's just got that wee bit of imagination, that wee bit of skill. He's the sort of he's the one with that little bit of imagination that can actually change a game in a flash.
Jade North from Queensland, Brisbane Strikers. And speaking to Frank Farina, the senior Australian coach, before the match, the player that's impressed him the most has been Mark Burns, which I know his defensive efforts have certainly been nearing the top of your list, Steve.
Yes, he's been very strong, and he's had another good game today. I think he's the sort of player that you can rely on, game in, game out, nothing flash, but he does his job, and really is a solid player.
Cansdale Sheriff. Speaking to those big three yesterday, Beckenbauer, Klinsmann and Bobby Charlton. So Bobby, it's quite interesting to note that their feelings on these championships have never seen standard like this at under-17 level. Even Jurgen Klinsmann, who's a recent exit from the international scene, was quite surprised by the skills on display.
Well, they must love it here in New Zealand, which is not necessarily a football country, more known for its rugby players. A wonderful tournament we've had so far. And there is Klinsmann, Beckenbauer, two of the greatest German players ever. Some may say, in fact, Beckenbauer could be their choice as the best player.
There's Robinho rushing out. Diorio is very nippy. Tried to put the pressure on the Brazilian goalkeeper. Darsky. Second attempt now with a head up. Kakar. Contest in the air. Here's a chance for Eduardo. Tries to hit the volley. Come off the defender. Anderson. Nice skills. Leo is forced to shoot from long range. Well, he's unpredictable. There's no question about that.
Indeed, and I think Ricky and I were talking about him at half-time. We really think this player can go a long way. He's got great skills, great physique, looks the athlete. And there's the shots. 8 to Brazil, 1 to Australia, but it doesn't matter. The score is 0-0. That's what counts. The longer this game goes, the more Australia will be happy. And who knows, if they nick one, they could finish up the under-17 world champs.
Well, I'll stand to be corrected, but every match I've seen that stat come up for Australia, it has always been in the opponent's favour. Australia have made the best of scant opportunities, and that has been their game. Strong defence, an attack that converts. Here's Leonardo as he fouled the edge of the area. No, said the referee. The Greek referee's been very firm and right on the spot. And these players know that they'll have to earn their free kicks. Shro, strong in the challenge. Walker. Eduardo, Leo, keeps the 1-2 play.
Well, read by Darsky though, and it needed to be because it was a tight little move going on through midfield.
I think there'll be a card here on Bruno.
Don't think there was a great deal in that one, really. Probably McDonald making a wee bit more of that one than there was. Just an arm across the face, more of a hand across the face. But it does relieve the pressure from Australia. As Sousa goes on, the sub.
For Adriano. So some height, much difference in shape because they're both big strikers. And Scott McDonald is a very tough customer. They have been niggling all day, those two, Bruno and Scott McDonald. A yellow card for the Brazilian defender. Shro. Lovely little run here by Cansdale Sheriff. So the sliding ball skews wide.
It was a great free kicking by Medarski down the left-hand side to Schroe. He held it well, and Kansdale Sheriff went for a run, and fortunately knocks his cross out.
Sousa was involved in some interesting moments with his teammates earlier in the tournament. And since he hasn't started, Brazil have looked a different proposition with Adriano and Leonardo. There's a big one-way traffic today, though. Kaká. Eduardo's been outstanding in midfield. Anderson. It's a searching run down the left. The ball's skidding out of play. Scott McDonald back on. And Ricky Herbert, you mentioned Australia's ability to run out the 90 minutes, pressurise the Brazilian playmakers. Doesn't look like it's subsiding now.
No, Australia still doing very, very well, David. I mean, the pressure's still there. They're prepared to push players forward. Delivery just coming down the left-hand side just needs to be attended to a wee bit. The crosses going into the box are going behind, and lots of runs are coming from midfield now from McAllister and certainly from McDonald. If we can get that delivery a little bit better, the chances could be converted into goals. Just on Sousa, his introduction, the coach Carlos was really laying down the law to this player before he came on the park. One would wonder that perhaps the off-field antics of him, he's being reminded of that, and now is his opportunity to come on and do something for the Brazilian attack.
Well, he's very much the individual, Sousa. Came to this tournament with enormous raps. He hasn't delivered it yet. Gets his chance in a final. Here he is, a nice touch on for Walker. Here's the Brazilian number 9, but Medarski is very quickly in. He reads the play so well. Kaká. Wondrous skills, just to lift the ball to his advantage. Bruno with the outside of the foot. Again, the Australian defenders well positioned. McAllister now playing in that midfield role. Gives the ball up to Walker. Sousa back to his captain. Gets free from the challenge. Here's Leo, a long-range shot. The second attempt from well outside the area.
It was worth a go. It was a nice little move across the park, and there's that man Leo again. Takes it on the outside of his right foot, leaning back. But it's high, wide and handsome, as they say.
Well, this is a dour defensive final. Brazil will have to extract something to break down the Australian defence. Look very solid. And I've noticed, Ricky, their normal 4-4-2 combination, Brazil, they love getting their wing-backs forward. It's just not really happening for them.
No, both sides, certainly with Bruno and Anderson, have had limited opportunities to get further forward into the attacking third, but that's all credit to the Australians. They've filled those positions very, very well defensively. The unit is staying very, very strong. They're moving forward together and moving back together.
They're making it difficult for Brazil to play through. And that just shows in that ball there. There was nothing on. They had to play something. It was aimed at Sousa, but too long and out for a goal kick to Australia. But it really is up to Brazil. They're the favourites here. In fact, they'd be the red-hot favourite to take this out. So I think Australia will be well pleased with the performance so far. One goal just could nick it. It's looking more like one will settle this game, Ricky.
Very much so, Steve. Both sets of players at this stage have been sent out to warm up. I think both managements feel at this stage that there may have to be the introduction of further substitutions just to keep the pressure going. But for me, Australia, if they can keep this pressure going forward, they're certainly making the Brazilians having to rethink. But certainly with Leo, Eduardo and Walker, who knows what could happen from that trio.
Kansdale Sheriff getting free.
Well, the other thing I'm thinking about, Ricky, is with this Diorio working really hard, twisting and turning, keeping the ball, switching it square to north, and it gets cut out. I'm just wondering, with this wonderful performance from Australia, will it have any effect on what FIFA do with Oceania in terms of qualification for this and other tournaments in future?
Well, Steve, this has certainly got to strengthen what everybody is hoping for down here, is to perhaps have a look at 2010 for a World Cup campaign for Australia and New Zealand, and the Australian under-17s are certainly doing their part in saying football down here is in good heart.
North is fouled down the right.
As he looked to knock the ball wide of Eduardo. Eduardo ran across. I think he even got his elbow up. Caught North. So it's a free kick to Australia, and it's in a dangerous position. And it's in these sort of instances now. Well, he really just ran across him, got his arm across. North wasn't going to get there, so down he went. It is a free kick to Australia, and it's from these sort of situations that Australia can win the game.
Got good height and good imagination from the dead ball situations. Australia, this is places a lot of emphasis on free kicks, set pieces in training. Ball swung in by Cansdell Sheriff and nicked over the bar. The near post there was McDonald.
And it's nicked on by a Brazilian player. And if you're Australian, you won't care who scores, so long as it goes in the Brazilian net. Up goes Eduardo, gets a nick on, Rubino, and it just flies over the top. He's the same one. And Eduardo just getting a little nick, and that could have finished up right in the top corner.
Corner to be taken by Cansdell Sheriff. Pressure on the Brazilian defence. Near post, coming out was Rubinho. And the shot hit by McDonald. Cannon into a defender. Shro. Such a strong worker for Australia. The square ball was poor. And perhaps a Brazilian break here. It's Leo. Lovely inviting ball for Bruno, who's streaming down the right. Leonardo in the middle. But again, Medarski, the big 6'2" defender, just blocks the ball out.
There's Van Stratton calling out instructions to his defenders. Keep it tight, get it away. Let's keep it going, boys. All those sort of calls will be going out.
Just the pressure showing on Bruno. These players, such a young age, have physically and mentally gone through so much in the last 2.5, 3 weeks. And just add to that a semi-final of absolute drama-filled action. 2 semi-finals, extra time and penalty shootouts. Can you believe it? And it has been such a dramatic World Championship here in New Zealand.
Yes, and this sort of tournament actually provides experience for players that money can't buy. I know some pro clubs were more than happy for the players to come here just to gain the experience at this level. And I'm sure they've got their money's worth.
It's Carlos Cesare just asking for that effort and hopefully looking to unlock the midfield area. Leo in the middle of Souza, who won't outpace Medarski as Van Stratton rushed out. And Van Stratton is an expert at coming off his line. He really shows a good judgment in that area.
He did very well indeed there, because it was a top ball through Leo. It just picked up a bit of pace again with the wet surface. And Stratton read it well.
The wide players are tucking in. It looks a very congested midfield for both teams, and that won't worry Australia as McDonald went to ground.
Well, if that's the case, you've actually got to say well done Australia, because that's what they've been wanting to do. They won't want the Brazilian boys to have any time and space to play. They want to cramp them up, keep it tight, and break like this. Unlucky.
There's a free kick, foul on McAllister.
And McAllister knew straight away. Yellow card for Kaka. About 30 yards out. Here's McAllister on a little break. Kaka pulling him back, grabbed his shirt, made it awkward for McAllister, and the referee spotted it and said it's a free kick.
And that's a free kick of frustration for Kaka, and it is a diagonal ball played from Lewis Brain. Cansdell Sheriff, non-preferred side, chips in. Wayne Shro well positioned. Also there was Leo.
Score is locked up, 0-0. 20 minutes to go. Normal time. Extra time being played after that.
The fans are on the edge of their seats. It hasn't been spectacular, but it has been enthralling. This final, Australia match blows with Brazil. A powerhouse of world football, 4 senior world championships.
Isn't that the way though, Dave, in cup finals sometimes things are tight, players are afraid to sort of express themselves, don't want to make a mistake, and things can be played very, very tightly, and so there's no slip-ups at the back. It's really been rather a tight game. Here's Schroe.
And they'll fancy themselves if, and I'm looking way ahead here, if they ever get to a penalty shootout situation, because they've practiced and practiced that at training. And this is a lovely ball and a chance for Leonardo for Brazil. Sousa in the middle. Patiently play back. Anderson whips it in. Golding well positioned. And again, Brazil denied. And there's some theatrics, and this time it's paid off. Anderson went down.
So go the Brazilian crowd. North getting a foot in here. That was more like North had the ball and probably handball from Anderson there. But this is one of those dangerous positions that Brazilian players love. We've seen many a goal scored from this sort of distance. Whether these young fellas have got the pace and the power to make it count, we're yet to see. About 30 yards out on the angle. Kaká lining up, Eduardo, Ricardo.
Will they take inspiration from Roberto Carlos? Eduardo turns it around, and it flashes past the near post. I think Van Straten had it well covered. It was superbly struck.
Short free kick, lined up for Eduardo. In fact, it was a rolling ball. He didn't quite stop it, and that probably put Eduardo off, and he knocked the ball wide. Van Straten calling to his defence, get tighter, don't let it go through the wall. And there's the number of shots, 10 to Australia. 10 to Brazil, 2 to Australia. But it doesn't matter. The score is 0-0.
Ansdell Sheriff, the Leeds player, his Leeds teammate, Bradley Groves on the bench. Forced out of the side by Lucas Pantelis. So there's great depth in this Australian squad. Leo still going. We get a second bite here. The number 7, and a ball in. And was that handball? Suspiciously close on Medarski.
It may have been, but there was no intent there. It was a great little run by Leo down the right-hand side. He got a lucky bounce. And it did look like it clipped Medarski. Went out for a corner.
The corner statistic in the match. Hand goes up by Anderson. Marquinhos will be a factor here. Near post took a deflection off McDonald, so another corner. Van Straten, bar the opening match against Brazil, when it's really his only mistake of the whole tournament. He let Marquinhos in. And since then he has been rock solid in the Australian goal.
There's a lot of movement in the box.
Anderson to the back post this time. Not wide by Wayne Schroe, so no risk being taken by the Australian players.
And that was a great corner too, right to the back stick. The keeper was nowhere to be seen, and Australia struggling to clear it. They did. It's gone out for a corner on the far side, and they're still under more pressure.
Eduardo this time gets his chance. Crowd are really getting into it now. Here at North Harbour Stadium. A lot of movement in the penalty area. As number 15 comes on, Wellington for Kaká. Ball swung to the back post. Chance here for Walker. He had a yard to the side of his opposite captain in Mark Burns.
Well, it was another ball, great ball, in-swinging corner to the back post. There was nobody there, unfortunately, for Brazil. Burns was stretching, he couldn't get there, and that man Walker just knocked it wide of the post.
Great shot there, right lay ahead for Walker. That's all that's needed. A yard of space for any of these players, and they can make themselves a hero.
The referee will have to sort this out. Ozzy saying, I want it there. Sousa saying back through at the back.
I think this Greek referee has been very good. Vasaris. Salonika.
Wellington got
composed, and how have you seen his performance, Ricky?
Yeah, he's done an excellent job, guys. Just Wellington's just come on the off the substitute bench for Brazil. He's taken up more of a defensive role, and he's given instructions for Eduardo and Leo to push further forward to give Leonardo and Sousa some more support.
So a different shape, Wellington sitting back.
Probably Walker's been the one that's probably sat in a wee bit more than the others, and he's been asked to go forward a bit and chance his arm further upfield.
Well, Brazil cannot break the shackles of Australia. The Australians really felt that 2-1 victory to Brazil in the opening group match was an injustice. A couple of mistakes really cost them dearly. Many experts feel that Brazil have improved a lot since that performance, but Australia again performing better than expectations.
Yes, they are. And they've got better as the games have gone on, and they're holding Brazil well here. It's been a difficult game at times for them. Got a nice move going down the right hand side as Diora trips over the ball, and then Eduardo cuts it out. Leonardo.
And here's a chance for Brazil. Takes on two defenders. And gets to the byline, but the ball rolls out. So the pressure again on the number 16 told the story. Two defenders running with the Brazilian striker.
It's a great little run into the left-hand side of the box, but he just overruns it. One touch too many. Rolls after a goal kick. Van Straten takes it, knocks it long. Eduardo wins it. And Medarski clears it.
Here's Diorio. Plays his club football with Werder Bremen. He's carried a hip injury and a bit of a groin strain. It's not allowed him to be considered for a starting berth. His team, Sousa, on the turn. And a neat one as well. Schroe.
Well, I don't know if it's anything to do with the likes of Sousa coming on, because Henriano didn't do much in the first half. But certainly, Brazil have had more of the ball in this half. And Australia are going to have to be very careful.
Looking more dangerous now, Brazil. Leo plays Sousa through, flag stays down. Great challenge by Van Straten. The Australian defenders looked up to the linesman. The flag stayed down, and Sousa almost played through.
There was a chance of that man Van Straten clean through here. Sousa. Van Straten out, brave, stretched, full stretch, and just managed to get something on it. And that was a wonderful stop.
Another moment of pressure soaked up at the back by Australia, and how much can they take? That is the question.
Well, it's building up, isn't it? It's given away down the left-hand side. There's been very little happening up front for them. Here's Leo, head up. Look, he's running with the ball. Little great ball inside. Releases Sousa. The keeper came out bravely with a great stop. And that's one of those skills that Leo has, Ricky. That little reverse pass. He's got great vision. And I know that you've got great raps on him. We're in the 80th minute, 10 to go.
He's great, Steve. He's in this more attacking position. He's providing Sousa a lovely little ball, as we've seen just a couple of minutes ago. And I'm sure the coaching staff will be delighted that he's getting himself involved. For me, he's the key for Brazil winning the game.
That was just such a delightful ball by that man, the number 7.
Well, everybody's up now. Everyone back for Australia. Virtually everybody within about 30 yards, excluding the goalkeeper from the Brazilian side. They know there's a chance.
And a Anderson.
Anything can happen from the corner. It's an in-swinging corner on the left-footed corner. Schroe jumps, Medarski jumps.
Eduardo from long range lets fly. And again, the screws tightened at the back for Australia. And a lot more composed as Carlos Cesar.
Well, he knows his team's getting more of a share of the ball this half, and they're playing with a bit more conviction. Just get the feeling, the longer this is going now, that you know, something could crack at the back for Australia. There's not long to go, and we'll head off into extra time. He stays locked up.
Eduardo tries to play Anderson down the line. Marked there by Jade North. There's Les Scheinflug. He gives his lungs a fair working out in every match. The helm of Australian teams for over 20 years, and he bows out after these championships.
Well, he would have kicked every ball. He's encouraged his team, cajoled them. He knows there's not long to go. He's asking for a bit more from them. Can the dream come true for him?
Steve, this is a real period of play now where I'm sure Les won't want his players to sit back. They need to keep the pressure on. We saw in the last 5 minutes of the first half that Brazil, given the ball, they're certainly dangerous.
Walker emerging. Lewis Brain has been influential in midfield. Great interception here by Wellington, who's away. Good pace too, plays Sousa through. Here's a chance for Brazil. And again Van Straten. What great anticipation by the Australian goalkeeper.
Oh boy. Is that man of the match material or what? What a great stop. Here goes Wellington through, plays the ball through for Sousa.
Les Scheinflug, guys, is right off the bench. He's not happy with McAllister. He finds now that Leo is getting too much room in the middle of the park. The balls are getting put through, and Walker, he's off the bench. He wants that midfield tightened up.
Indeed, and that was a wonderfully brave effort again from that man, Van Straten. Saved his team, keeps them in it. And at the moment, it's a free kick to Australia, and they've got a chance to release the pressure and knock a ball into the Brazilian box.
Long one in, and Marquinhos meets it strongly with a header. Here's Eduardo. Brazil are growing in confidence. You can just sense that Leonardo plays it off Golding for a Brazilian throw.
Well, you can. The midfield's linking well now with Sousa. He's made quite a difference for them up front. The referee said I didn't hear that.
Signalling perhaps a foul throw. Diorio. Australia looked stunned for the moment. Leonardo. A loose one for McAllister. He now finds North of some space, but deep in their own half.
They're finding it difficult to get out of this half at the moment. As Brazil win it again. Eduardo advancing, McDonald chasing him back. Sousa turns.
Leo. Anderson, long-range shot, the bounce, and wasn't far away from that post. In the end, it wasn't a deflection, I don't think, from Van Straten. He was a bit disoriented momentarily.
Well, left foot shot from Anderson, and it picks up a wee bit of pace again off that greasy surface. I think Van Straten had it covered. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
There's Scheinflug's comments. Kansas Sheriff was telling them, tuck in. Did you catch that, Ricky?
Sorry, I didn't quite catch that, guys.
I think he was just telling him to tuck in and make it difficult for the midfield to play as Leo is booked. So the fourth booking for Brazil.
Well, he did challenge McAllister here. He went up with his arm. I think he actually, he tried to actually punch him there. And that's certainly not part of the fair play message that FIFA want. Leo got booked, rightly so. Australia free kick.
Pressure momentarily eased on the Joeys.
5 minutes to go. 0-0.
This is really decision time now, guys. Are Australia going to push forward, or are they happy to run the clock down? There's only just on 4 odd minutes to go now and take Brazil into extra time and golden goals.
They're sitting back, it looks like it, Australia. It's playing for the final whistle for 90 minutes anyway.
Well, that may be the tactic, Ricky, because one goal in normal time means Brazil always have a chance of coming back. But in extra time, she's all over. First goal, that's it, you're the winner.
Brazilian fans in front of us are really off their seats just behind that man, Deschamps.
Yes, they're trying to lift the team. Eduardo, nice skill. Bruno misses it. Council Sheriff just happy to knock it forward.
Marquinhos at the back for Brazil. Now patiently, Bill Wellington has got some good pace, a good move off the bench. Carlos Cesar. Nice work here by Bruno. There's space now for the Brazilian midfielders. Eduardo lobs for Sousa. Surrounded by 3 defenders. Walker, switch of players on. Anderson gets himself free down the left. Leo with a long-range shot. Doesn't mind firing them, pulling back the trigger as the fans are really enjoying the action at North Harbour Stadium in this final.
There's Leo leaning back. Hits it. Powerful guy. Misses on that occasion, but Australia do need to tighten things up across the middle of the park, because at the moment the ball watching, Brazil are playing at will, and that's not good for them.
3 minutes of normal time remaining in this final. He's heading for extra time. 2 15-minute periods will be played. The golden goal rule applies. The first team to score will win if it gets to extra time. There's still a deadlock. Penalties will decide this World Championship final.
Both Diorio and McDonald are coming off.
Leonardo joined them very quickly. Started a bit flat-footed, the midfield of Australia.
Well, it's not only that, it's the 2 up front, McDonald and Diorio. Really, you're making runs coming off the back 4 of Brazil and just tightening things up again, and they really need to be making runs wider and further forward. So consequently, every time they receive a ball, they're playing it back into midfield.
And as the Brazilian confidence grows, the little dinks and the sideway balls, the touch just improves. I think they really do fuel themselves on confidence. Free kick quickly taken. Bruno takes on Cansdale Sheriff with turn of pace by the Brazilian number 2. Cuts to the near post. Well defended by Mark Burns. Really are looking to find the crack in the Australian defence. And Stratton's been outstanding in goal.
Well, certainly now, with just over a minute to go, Australia more than happy to see it go into extra time. But Stratton's had a top game. Man of the match, maybe. He's pulled off some wonderful saves, very brave.
A blue wave perhaps again in midfield. Leo closed down by Wayne Schroe. McDonald, advantage was played there. Jade North. Brain has been quieter in the second half. There's Jade North, who's an influential player on that right wing. Set up many of Australia's attacking moves in this tournament. Sousa.
Challenge from Burns, and it needed it. Chased Walker wide. Wellington just looking to size things up. There's Leonardo in. Sousa.
Return there by Leo. Anderson.
He's got great skills, Leo, hasn't he?
Was he fouled? Yes, he was, said the referee. So we have played 90 minutes in this final.
We're into time added on. Eduardo with the free kick. Can Australia keep them out? Pressure's mounting.
Eduardo chips to the back post, but was searching for Marquinhos. It was an easy one in the end for Jess Van Straten.
Yeah, not a problem for Van Straten there. Meat and drink, he loves those.
Marquinhos, Souza. Surrounded by two green shirts. Burns had a high boot, but play waved on by the referee. Leonardo heads to space. Jade North in his own half, and that flank duel between he and Anderson has been quite fascinating. Perhaps Anderson has had the better second half. Just getting forward. Eduardo with some space. And the shot was an awkward one, just bobbled up for Van Straten as Carlos Cesare will have to regroup his group for this extra time period. Les Scheinfeld wouldn't be totally unhappy with the result.
Well, I think it's magnificent, really, because Brazil are the favourites. They've had a lot of ball, especially in the second half. Australia's hung on grimly, and it looks like they're taking this game into extra time.
It's been a difficult match to referee for Kiros Vasaris, but he's done a very good job.
Well, it is when people are trying to hoodwink you. It looked like he was there, but the referee spotted that and said, no way, it's a throw into Australia.
Marquinhos, time running out for both teams in regular time. Bruno opens the door slightly there for McAllister. Here's a chance for Australia. Diorio was fouled by Wellington. Somewhat of a professional feel to it, that challenge.
So what do you do here, Ricky? You've got, you're in time added on, you've got a free kick. Do you go and try and nick it and win it? Or do you sit back and say, we'll go for extra time?
Well, just a substitution coming on just now, Steve. Ian Fife coming on to replace Cancel Sheriff on the left-hand side of the park. But for me, they've left Madashi back, who seems to be the biggest tall defender that the Australians have. He's happy to deliver into the box. I'd give this one a shot. I think they need to get something and something on target.
McDonald, nice ball then for Fife, who tips for the back post. His first touch was far too heavy. It was a pressure situation to be introduced to.
Yes, and just in that instance, you probably didn't want a substitution because Kansden Sheriff's very good. He's been on a while, and Fife's first touch just not good enough. But it was interesting to note that Australia left all three of their central defenders back there. They said, forget it. If we win it up there, we're going to nick it. It's going to be stolen, and we're going to extra time.
This final is going to extra time. 2 15-minute periods. It's been a tough defensive struggle. Brazil has not been able to break the defensive shackles of the Joeys. And after 90 minutes, the score here at North Harbour Stadium, Australia 0, Brazil 0.
There you have it, extra. Well, there you have it. Brazil wins in penalty kicks 8-7 over the Australians, as the Brazilians are very proud of what they did. Take a look at the penalties. The captain, Mark Burns, misses the first one, setting the stage for the Brazilians. And then the save, but no. Leandro finished it. Joseph Diorio, the Werder Bremen product. Marquinhos finishes, actually went just wide. And Van Straten was punked. And then Schroe finishes it off. Eduardo there. Madashi, the big defender, calmly slots it. Walker, the captain, finishes his as well. Jade North gets a little help, but his goes in. Ricardo. McAllister. Oh, look at Leo, left and right. Golding finishes off. Bruno does the same. Kennedy. Souza calmly slots it. Then Ian Fife would leave the door open. Rubinho with the save off the post. And then the substitute Wellington underneath Van Straten's hands. And that would be it. Brazil, the 1999 FIFA Under-17 World Champions. Want to thank the best soccer production crew in all of soccer. I've been your host, Alan Hopkins. Thank you for joining me. Innovative Sports Marketing brought you all of these games. I'll be back. Ciao for now.
Okay, guys, Matt, you get slammed.